We welcome our pal, former fabulous producer John Daly. He's still fabulous, but he's not producing anymore. That's
lady, gentlemen.
Yes, we do say ladies and gentlemen, I've noticed. It just occurred to me that we say it a lot.
Now, Mark, before we get going, as a SAG-AFTRA member, such as yourself.
Oh,
Kim,
wow. Yeah.
I voted for the strike, so I'm curious if you guys voted for the strike.
It was not, I don't believe my contract was affected. And as a result, I don't remember whether I even saw a ballot, to be honest.
I wasn't asked.
I was asked.
You were? Well,
Yeah.
if you were, then I would have been.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, you know who I am.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
So
saying.
I'm looking at the strike order right now, and I have a question. If you
Yes, of course, please.
Is this show covered by the low budget theatrical agreement, or is it covered by the ultra low budget agreement? Because if so, I'm gonna have to kindly log off.
We would be, I think, if we were covered by any agreement, it would be the ultra low budget. So that we need several other ultras there before we can actually be covered by the agreement. Okay. You're in the clear, is the bottom line, John.
Okay.
You're not.
I don't want to cross any picket lines.
No, you do not need to worry. I think you're in good shape. By the way, quick shout out. How about it? To Rayanne Eisenreich for $20. Come on, Rayanne.
Shout out.
Rayanne, I thank you so much. Really, really cool, Rayanne. I give you a
Big shout out.
another big shout out. Never have too many big shout outs.
Look at you keeping track of the super stickers.
I like to give them now like a little love right away because we appreciate
I heard
it.
your Anonymous drama yesterday. So
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to develop an app for you. And this is what I'm going to call it. The Electronic Patreon Outfield Chat Harvester, or EPOC for short.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I love that. We did have a little disagreement. It's funny. John's referring to me. You missed it. We were discussing, just on the epoch thing. EPOCH. I say epoch. That's the way the word is said. And apparently, either epoch or epoch. You can say epoch, but epic. Is not.
No,
Kim,
epic.
acceptable.
Epic. It's puck, like a hockey puck.
Yeah, puck.
Epic.
Right, epoch.
Yeah.
Epic. Right.
Yeah.
So epoch is okay, and
Epic.
epoch is okay. Either is acceptable in America, but to be fair to Kim, which it pains me to do, epoch is the British, really, the way that the Brits say it. So
That's on brand for you.
Yeah, it is.
yes, I believe there's a certain sense of sophistication people have grown to expect from me, frankly. We like to look at the Sunshine State on Fridays. They always serve up the weird, the wonderful, sometimes the sad. This is Friday Fabulous Florida.
It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
Into Friday Fabulous Florida with word of a huge, in fact, a record-breakingly huge, 19-foot long Burmese python, everyone. I mean, this is an immense creature. The Florida duo known as the Glades Boys, I guess named for the Everglades,
You know them.
have captured the state's longest ever recorded Burmese python, measuring 19 feet. It weighs 125 pounds. Remember, Burmese pythons are an invasive species. They are not native to Florida. They're there because somebody, brought a snake years ago, and now there's a huge infestation. Not easy to wrestle. We're showing it to you now. The wrestling of this.
I'm sure the python thinks they're an invasive species.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the python's fault.
The bros.
He's 22, Jake Walleri,
Did they
and
kill
he
it?
found the snake in Big Cypress National Preserve. It, they say, could drape across 4 adults with room to spare. Giant is an understatement for this beast. he said. She clocks in at 19 feet flat and 125 pounds. The Conservancy of Southwest Florida, is a local nonprofit, confirmed the size of the snake, saying it's officially the longest ever documented. Previous longest Burmese python was 18 feet and 9 inches.
So they've never seen anything like this.
There's never been anything like this.
Well, there you go. Right on brand, Albert. Thank you. I believe that this animal will... They say, that these pythons pose a significant threat, to use their words, to other wildlife in the state. They eat mammals, birds, and even alligators. They have few natural predators aside from humans. Because of this risk, the state has recommended that the snakes be caught and humanely killed.
Oh.
Well, I don't really want to discuss the killing so much. It kind of takes away from the other aspects of it. But the point is, this is the biggest. Albert, thank you for finding it. It didn't make my reptile radar.
Albert, thank you.
Yeah, so very well done. A sinkhole that has swallowed a Florida man is not only a killer sinkhole, but it's killed before.
What?
That's right. Oh, thank you.
Double what?
Can't they put a piece of plywood over it? No?
Kim, if it really has its mind set on killing people, you think a piece of plywood is going to stop it?
No.
It's just going to eat that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, you're muted.
Yeah, I don't know how you got muted, Mark.
A stroke.
Thank you.
And you're back.
And now I'm back. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
There is a sinkhole that reopened after it was declared safe, this site, since 2013. Let's read on. It's happening in Hillsborough County.
Oh.
County officials say they got a call around 4:30 in the afternoon this week that the sinkhole had reopened.
We're back in business, baby.
Grand reopening.
There's never been anything like this.
The sinkhole opened underneath a home.
Wait, is it moving?
Back in 2013.
Oh, okay.
It swallowed up Jeffrey Bush. He was asleep in his bedroom at the time.
Oh, how awful.
His brother, Jeremy Bush, tried desperately to save him, but was unable to. Rescue crews never recovered his body.
This is sounding paranormal.
How deep is the sinkhole?
I know.
Wow.
But then this sinkhole is reopened. Am I right, Albert? The same sinkhole.
The house has been demolished and the sinkhole has reopened. It looks like a memorial. I'm pulling.
Well, the sinkhole took care of that part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just reopened. It's just like a memorial. They have like a thing. It's gated off, and then just now there's an enormous hole again. And then
Look at that.
There are several ways, apparently, to fill a sinkhole. One of the ways is with gravel and a liquid, which is flexible, and if there's a recurrence, it will recur at that point. The depression that produces it in the earth isn't going to find another place to try and meander, said one expert. It will stay right there. It's the easiest point of attack. So that's really the best situation. This is a quote. That's the best situation in this scenario. We can actually control when and if there is a recurrence. Well, if that's so true, then how come this thing just recurred? Maybe they knew it was going to. It's something out of all of our control. This is Mother Nature. This isn't a man-made scenario, he says. But we do have a plan in place. Well, that's nice.
We have processes and protocols and standards.
We have the right experts in place, he says. That's a quote. This is under control. He said that again.
Yeah, famous last words.
like
Ladies and gentlemen, this is under control. There's a reason why they are double fencing the area around it. Yeah, there's a reason this place.
There's a reason that this place
waiting
is
for
fine.
it.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, the reopening of that sinkhole has happened in Florida. If you're watching on YouTube, you see a picture of it. A Florida man is attacked by a 7-foot alligator. He's on a morning walk And in Naples, Florida, the alligator attacks. According to Collier County sheriffs, the man was walking in the Forest Glen and golf course community shortly after 5 a.m. Well, I got mad respect for you if you're up at 5 a.m. taking a walk. Apparently, that same respect is not afforded you by the alligator who came up and bit him in the leg.
Oh.
The first deputy on the scene provided first aid. Second deputy had the eyes on the gator. To tell a trapper where it was located, investigators say the trapper safely captured the reptile, which was a female measuring 6 feet 9 inches. Removed
right now it's
her.
mating season, and they're hungry.
It actually literally does say it is alligator mating season.
Oh, and they are indeed hungry.
And Florida residents are encouraged to be cautious around bodies of water.
That's real.
She's trying to feed her babies. Come on.
Yeah.
Or she's working her corner.
She's last thing I want to say about alligators, because this is what Florida Fish and Wildlife say, that serious injuries caused by alligators are pretty rare in Florida, even though we report on them here like they happen all the time.
Yeah, except on the edge of lakes with little dogs.
Yeah, tell that to the guy who was walking at 5 a.m. A man scalloping on Crystal River almost loses his legs in a hit-and-run boat crash.
Oh.
It was supposed to be a family vacation for the 4th of July, Kim. Instead, it turned ugly. Nicole Burko and her boyfriend, Jason, they were diving for scallops on vacation near Crystal River. You know where that is, John?
Well, it's funny because crystal is slang for meth, so I'm pretty sure I know where that is.
Well, that could be. Throw a dart and you'll find it. The boat was fast. They could hear the engine roaring, coming toward them. I was clinging to the bottom, she said. Then I hear the engine cut to a neutral. The pitch and the roaring of the engine, it was nothing like I'd ever experienced.
We've never seen anything like it.
I was waiting for Albert.
There's never been anything like this.
There is nothing in our history that quite compares to this.
Right.
Nobody has ever put something like this together.
Okay,
that
let's
I've
not
ever
go
seen.
nuts.
You've never seen anything
okay,
like
really?
it before.
All right. In any case, the Nicole Burko and her boyfriend Jason, again, the people who were scalloping, they tried to dive under the water when they saw the boat coming. It was coming right at their boat.
Whoa.
But the other boat was too fast.
Sounds like a Bond movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It is a Bond-like stunt. The propellers severely cut the legs and feet of Jason.
Yeah.
Initially, the pain and trauma and the blood. He wasn't sure whether he was going to live or die, or even if he had legs or feet anymore, she says. The way he was screaming, I mean, I think everybody who was there thought he'd lost his legs. Well, they had a dive flag up. They said that they had marked their position. There's no excuse for this. They followed all of the,
We have processes and protocols and standards.
Yeah. He's badly
they do
mangled.
this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for.
But he is expected to survive. But let me just say this. They don't know who was operating the other boat, Kim. This is a hit and run.
Maybe it was an alligator.
Well, I'm sure that
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol involved.
100% alcohol is involved.
A drunk alligator.
That's why they split. Yeah. A Florida man is arrested after allegedly throwing an explosive into a home. This is in Volusia County, Florida.
What?
Yeah.
He allegedly was throwing an explosive into a Deltona residence last month. Jason Smith is his name, 25. He faces charges of possession of a firebomb and first-degree arson. There were people
I like that
in the
that's a
house.
law.
Yeah.
I like that there's a firebomb law.
Yeah, they have it in Florida. You've got to really have a lot of specifics. Deputies responded to a call about an explosion at this residence. They found explosive material attached to a glass Don Julio bottle. with an accelerant. Accelerant is a ding word. That was lit and then thrown into the window of the house. So isn't that a Molotov cocktail, right?
Right.
More
in
or
a
less.
Don Julio bottle.
Yeah, it's a very
It's a
classy
very high end. Right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, all
I'm
right.
sure Don Julio's like, nice, thank you.
Yeah. Next
Who wants
time,
shots?
maybe just a bottle of Don Julio, not so much the accelerant, if you can do it next time. Based on witness statements, an unidentified man ran toward the victim's house, threw the explosive at a window, and then ran back to a silver Mercedes. Wow, the high end.
Yeah.
The whole thing's very high end.
Yeah.
After further investigations, detectives finding that the Mercedes was in the vicinity of the incident 14 minutes prior to it happening. They also said the driving time is consistent with how it would have taken the certain amount of time, distance from this guy's home. When they ran the plates on the Mercedes, etc. They established the vehicle owner. They run the amount of time it would have taken for him to make it, blah, blah, blah. Carry the 5 and you're under arrest. All right.
Maybe they were filming like a Florida Mercedes ad.
Yeah, they... on brand.
Yeah.
When you absolutely have to have a getaway car that goes really
you need
fast.
something dependable.
Yeah.
Mercedes will never let you down. With the evidence found, detectives arrested Smith, took him to the Volusia Branch County Jail. He's being held there on $200,000 bond. So, a Japanese steakhouse in Florida closes.
Why?
Customers allege meth poisoning, everyone. Wow.
Food?
Not on the menu. But apparently a Japanese steakhouse is closing. 7 people said they were poisoned with meth. They were eating at one of the restaurant's hibachi tables. And Santa Rosa County Sheriff's...
that was meth poisoning, though? You'd have to have like a point of reference, right?
This feels like meth.
That feels, I'm sure, like something. Then they complain. And through their attorney, they announced that they had tested positive for meth. And were seeking answers, I should say, as to how it happened.
That could have been a coincidence. I mean, it is Florida.
You think that, could be. You're saying they all could be meth
Right.
heads, sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they all got that bad meth on the same street corner and then went to have steak. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't test positive for our meth. We test positive for some different meth.
MSG doesn't sound so bad now, does it?
Yeah, the sheriff's office closed the case without making an arrest because of the lack of evidence into how the 7 people were poisoned. So a lot of the same questions you have, they have. But after more than 10 years of serving the community, the Nico Japanese Steakhouse is going away. Sad.
Or maybe it was a rival restaurant owner.
I see. Wow. It's wow. That's a real
meth caper.
I like that you have a narrative. But a Florida man is arrested after deputies recovered 88 grams of cocaine and a false ID.
Oh. Well, that seems normal.
A Florida man arrested. Deputies found 88 grams of coke, $4,069 in cash, and a false ID.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
88 grams of coke, $4,069 in cash, and a false ID. Omar Feliciano, 42 years old, his whole life ahead of him. Sad. Facing a slew of charges, including possession of narcotics, intent to distribute, possession of fraudulent Puerto Rican ID. Wow. He's got a lot.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
Okay, yeah. Possession of narcotics, intent to distribute, possession of fraudulent Puerto Rican ID.
He
also got
that he's.
He does. He actually looks happy. This Albert is right about this.
Or just coked out of his mind.
Yeah, could be. Either way, you're happy. It might be medically induced, or but you're clearly right. And finally, and perhaps a favorite, there is this. A Florida man has been arrested. He hit cars with a tire iron and ultimately throws a barbecue grill at deputies to stick the landing in this road rage incident. Yeah. Brevard County, I think barbecue grill throwing should be, not an Olympic event, but those strongman events where they throw different stuff.
A 4th of July contest in Florida.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking of. There
so do you have a grill in the passenger
barbecue for them, right?
What's that? What's that, Albert?
Who wouldn't like anybody throwing a barbecue?
So was this in the passenger seat, or did he stop and go in the back?
These are good questions. The Chevy Tahoe, is a gray Chevy Tahoe, was parked in the middle of the road, and then it began ramming vehicles as drivers tried to go around. Okay, the Chevy Tahoe is occupied by our pal, the guy who's at the center of this entire thing. He was armed with a nail gun, apparently, and was threatening people at the scene. Deputies arrive.
What can you tell us
about the scene? I can tell you that he's threatening people with a nail gun, Larry.
What can you tell us about the scene?
Deputies arrived on the scene.
What can you tell us about the scene?
They said they found him armed with a crowbar. When given commands to drop the crowbar, deputies said that he said, "You'll have to kill me." Hoffman, who was that's the name of the dude. I don't know what his first name is. Hoffman is his last name. Threw the crowbar and started to run away from the deputies. This is great. This isn't Sheriff Grady, but it's a Sheriff Grady thing that the other sheriff said. He apparently did not get the memo that if you run from Brevard County deputies, you're only going to jail.
There's a reason that this place is fun.
Right.
I think they're using a template now.
They are.
Out.
Grady statements.
Yeah.
Where is the barbecue, though, Albert? I don't see it.
I thought it was thrown early on,
Do you see it in there? Deputy said he hit cars with a tire iron and threw a barbecue grill at them in a road rage.
Well, it is Florida, so maybe he was, grilling some,
I just would love to know. He must have had the barbecue grill in the bed of his truck. Is that what it was?
Yeah, there's no details in this. We just have to trust the headline here, Mark.
Okay, all right. Well,
Albert, thank you.
They don't ask a lot of questions in Florida. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. All right. Now, how do we do this, Albert? I've forgotten. Do we pick a favorite before I close out the segment, or do we pick a favorite and then I close out the segment? And you have a poll going on YouTube, don't you?
1,000.
2
Albert, thank you.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was on. No, yeah, we'll hit the close. I have the poll up right now.
Okay, so I'm sorry. But the question to you was, sir, as the format, do we now pick a favorite, or do we hit the close and then pick a favorite after the close?
No, I'll hit the close now, and then we'll talk about the favorites after.
All right, very good. So with that barbecue throw, and by the way, if you want to see the guy and the offending vehicle, and maybe get a glimpse of the barbecue, it is on our YouTube channel for podcast listeners. That is Friday Fabulous Florida for today.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
I don't know why we don't pick a favorite before the close. Can you explain that to me before we pick a favorite? Why is that, Albert? I know you probably reflected on it and made this decision after quiet reflection. You probably listened to past segments where we've done it one way and done it another way.
I wanted to switch it up this time, Mark.
Okay.
Albert, thank you.
Okay. I think Albert regrets it. I think, let's be honest, Albert, you feel like we should have picked a favorite before we hit the close. Don't you feel that way?
I kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
But, whoever is producing this thing has no idea what they're doing.
I know my Albert. You can say
the Asian American community.
You should apologize to all those communities. Anyway, we are still picking a favorite, though. Look, it's like picking between kids. We don't want to, but we have to.
Yeah.
So here you go. I'll review for you the contenders. 19-foot Burmese python, record and apprehended. Sinkhole that swallowed a Florida dude while he slept, killed him. It's reopened now. A Florida man attacked by a 7-foot alligator at 5 a.m. as he took a walk. A man scalloping with his girlfriend on the Crystal River almost loses a leg in a hit-and-run boat crash. The dude throwing explosives into a home with a Don Julio bottle that's filled with accelerant. The Japanese steakhouse in Florida has to close. 7 customers allege meth poisoning. The Florida man arrested after deputies recover 88 grams of cocaine.
My bad. I'm sorry.
And an official ID. And the Florida dude who hits cars with tire irons and then throws a barbecue grill at deputies.
Why are you yelling?
We have to pick one. I ask you what your favorite is, please, John Daly.
Well, I have to give a big shout out to Albert. This is a very rich offering this week. You know, I do like the Sinkhole. That kind of speaks to me. But as a former bartender, I have to go with the classy firebomb.
Oh, classy firebomb.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's like at least $200 worth of a bottle that he just
It's impressive.
High-end firebomb. Exactly. How about you, Albert? What's your favorite, please?
Again, I'd like to take John Daly's praise, but also shout out Florida because Florida's the one who keeps it's a gift
Never
that
disappoints.
keeps on giving. Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of like the meth poisoning at the steakhouse. It's just bizarre. It's a bizarre headline. You know, I'm scrolling through. I'm researching Florida. I see meth and actually this was actually sent to us too. I found this when I was researching, and I think somebody emailed it to the show. So special shout out.
Oh, that's very cool.
To the person I can't remember, but thank you for sending that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. And Kim, how about you?
You know, I loved the video of the snake wrestler. I loved the picture of the alligator, but I have to agree with Albert on this one. I'm going with the, I've never heard of meth poisoning at a restaurant before, so I'm going with the meth at the steakhouse.
No?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
Florida is a state. It's a state of innovation, really.
I am also overwhelmed by this barrage of brilliance out of Florida.
Alliteration.
I think I like 88 grams of cocaine, a false ID, to be honest. That's kind of ringing my bell, but so is the crazy road rage dude.
That's pretty Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with the cocaine guy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know it's not all right.
I'm sure he's happy that you picked him too, Mark. He's very happy.
Like they're up for an award. Is it Coke?
Somewhere
Is
in
it
Florida?
meth?
There's so many people to thank.
Yeah.
John, let's do this again next week. Thank
Fabulous
Will
producer,
do.
John
Have a
Daly.
great weekend, everybody.
Really, yeah. Have a good one. John Daly, everyone. Yeah. And Albert, very well done on another. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.